Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy. We need an emissions reduction goal. Go high, said the science. That's your role. Will the government have ambition, take a 75% position, or side with the sellers of coal?
Call to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy.
I thank the honourable member for the question, but I'll be answering in prose, Mr Speaker. And I'll be answering in terms of the climate change. I'm sorry to disappoint. I'll be answering in terms of the Climate Change Act, which this government passed with the support of the crossbench, which is world's best practice when setting a target. And the Climate Change Act requires the government to receive the advice of the Climate Change Authority before setting a target. It's a matter of law. And the law also requires the Climate Change Authority to have regard to the best available scientific knowledge and the global temperature goals under Article 2 of the Paris Agreement, which is 2 degrees and 1.5 degrees. And under the Act, I must take account of that advice in setting the targets, and I am also able to take into account other factors, such as the economic impact and the social impact of the target we set. The legislation makes it clear, this process makes it clear what we must consider when setting the target, and that is exactly what we will do. We will have regard to the science, as we are required to under the law, and frankly, as we are required to morally. Absolutely, the parliament is and the government is. That is why we passed the Climate Change Act in the way that we did. And I note that the federal court has recently ruled on matters of target setting. In the Pabai case, the federal court, His Honour, was particularly critical of the previous government's targets and said, and I quote, "They paid scant regard, if any, to the best available science." And they considered the 2021 update a political window dressing to distract attention from the retained 2030 target. That's what they said about the previous government's approach. In contrast, His Honour said in relation to this government's 2022 target that it could fairly be said to be a target that was capable of realistically contributing towards limiting the increase in global average temperature to 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels. That's what His Honour said about our 2022 target. When we set the 2035 target, it will be in accord with the Climate Change Act. After I've received the Climate Change Authority advice, it will set out very comprehensively this government's intentions when it comes to 2035, and that's as it should be.